You'd think on a day where a brand new 40-minute beefy Nintendo Direct that's super anticipated and holds lots of mystery titles was announced, that would be the most impressive news. And yet, somehow, Nintendo has one-upped themselves by delivering something that is so unfathomable, so incredible, we just have to talk about it. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I am so psyched to be here. Quick reminder that we're live streaming tomorrow's big Nintendo Direct starting at 3:30 Eastern. That's 12:30 Pacific. I'll put the live stream link in the description down below, and I hope you'll join me for the party, the predictions, and hopefully the huge cheers. Hopefully it's not one where we end the show like this. There's going to be Zelda because it's focusing on the first half, so, I mean, how much more wrong could it go? Not very. It's going to go amazingly well when you have that in there, and I just think it's going to be a big show with games like Hollow Knight, maybe an Advance Wars stealth drop, and hopefully some really fun surprises. But we've already talked about that, so let's talk all about what Nintendo is up to right now. First off, we know that their hardware sales are crushing it. They moved into third place all time for all consoles, second place for Nintendo. Their recent investor call reports reveal that they've sold over 122 million Nintendo Switches, bumping them past their own Game Boy console and moving right behind Nintendo DS and still behind PlayStation 2. I don't know if the Switch will ever reach Nintendo DS. They still have about 30 million units to go. The DS was just incredible, especially given its longevity. And I guess Nintendo decides if they want to pass that by how soon they release a new model. Or does it count as the same model? Like the DS benefited from all the iterations, and the Switch could do the same. They just would have to keep it like a Switch Pro and not a Switch 2. And maybe a Switch Pro is going to finally happen. I'm not promising or saying it's this year, but Nintendo did say that the semiconductor shortage that's plagued the industry and the globe is largely over. They did slash their forecast from 19 to 18 million Switch units sold this fiscal year, but they say it's safe, it's good to go, which means maybe new hardware can actually happen. There was a bunch of other reports in terms of interesting numbers like, hey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now past 50 million, Animal Crossing New Horizons is now past 40 million, Smash Bros. Ultimate cleared the 30 million mark, and Ring Fit Adventure is one of the top 10 selling Switch titles still to this day. Splatoon 3 passed 10 million units in just 3 months, which is ridiculous. Bayonetta 3 is over 1 million. Xenoblade 3 is over 1 million. But here's the big news. There was this little game that came out last year, and everybody tried to say it was busted. They tried to say it was broken. They tried to say it was DOA. This game was doing bold, big things. This game had performance problems. But this game was setting a new standard for a franchise that rinsed and repeated itself for decades. The games I'm talking about are Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and they have now become the fastest selling Nintendo games in history. I want to set this up and put it into perspective for you, because Pokemon Sword and Shield was no slouch. Pokemon Sword and Shield is in the Nintendo Switch top 10. I believe it's actually number 5 at 25.68 million sold, which is really great. Fantastic even, but somehow Pokemon Scarlet and Violet nearly passed it. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, after just 6 weeks, enters the Nintendo Switch all-time top 10. This is a game that was battered and bruised online. This is a game that saw all sorts of complaints thrown at it, and I'm not saying that many of those weren't valid, but I just feel great knowing that a good game at its core, a fun game at its core, an expressive, emotional, exciting game that has one of the best final sequences in Nintendo history has prevailed, because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sits at number 7 with 20.61 million units sold in 6 weeks. 20 million copies sold in 6 weeks. This game is going to pass Sword and Shield very quickly. This game is going to pass Breath of the Wild pretty quickly. This game is going to pass Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It seems like this game is destined to be number 3 on the Nintendo Switch bestsellers list, behind only Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is freaking awesome. And I think it speaks to the foundational improvements that this game made to a franchise that is beloved, but that was, I'd say, a bit beleaguered by a refusal to change, a refusal to evolve, which is funny for a game that's all about evolution, and now they have. And just imagine what Gen 10 can do when they do polish everything up. Again, I'm not saying the complaints are bad. I think, in fact, we need to be honest and critique developers and publishers when they deliver something underwhelming. I just was so bummed to see people writing the games off and trying to turn others away because of the performance issues, which did not affect me as much as they did many other people. And I was able to enjoy a brilliant game that I busted through faster than any other Pokemon title since the original Red and Blue. It was magical. I do hope that we get a big DLC chunky announcement. Maybe it's due at this Direct. Maybe it happens at its own Pokemon Presents. The latter is probably more likely. But regardless, Nintendo is absolutely thriving. They are continuing to dominate, and in that way, there's no need for a new console. If you want to know why Nintendo may not release a Switch Pro or a Switch 2 until 2024 or 2025, it's because of numbers like this. Super Mario Party is up to 18.8 million. Super Mario Odyssey is up to 25 million. Ring Fit Adventure, like I mentioned, at 15.22, and Pokemon Let's Go over 15 as well. This system just sells and sells and sells, and I love that a great game has been rewarded by rising up the charts faster than anything. And again, I want to illustrate how impressive this is given that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are on the Switch and Animal Crossing New Horizons is on the Switch. These games sold insanely fast. These games have set insane records, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are amazing that they have beaten even that. Could they ever catch Animal Crossing? I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is out of reach, but is there a chance after 20 million units in 6 weeks? Basically a month and a half. Could they catch Animal Crossing, which is at 41? It's doubled it right now. It's doubled, but it's slowed down. In the last reporting period, Animal Crossing sold 1.4 million about. Pokemon in 6 weeks sold 20. If they could pick up another 10, we're off to the races. I never thought a game would pass Animal Crossing New Horizons, but Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just might. And now when you look ahead to what Nintendo can release, I'm very curious where Tears of the Kingdom will fall. Breath of the Wild did incredible. Can Tears of the Kingdom even crack this list? I know sales aren't exciting for everyone, but just consider it from a standpoint of that these games are basically getting trophies. These games are basically getting Oscars, Academy Awards, I guess Game Awards. Even though they might not have won Game of the Year, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is being rewarded as a phenomenal title that is making a tsunami of difference for Pokemon fans and the Nintendo Switch system. Semiconductor shortage is over. Switch is in third place all time. Scarlet and Violet is selling crazy. The only thing lackluster from Nintendo's report is their upcoming release calendar. They got virtually nothing. 3 games with TBD. Metroid Prime 4, who knows when or where. We've seen a title screen and an apology for a restart. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, it better drop this week. That game is, so much of the excitement has died due to all of the delays. And then Pikmin 4, which I think is fantastic, but we know Pikmin 4 is not of the caliber, not the seller like Pokemon, like Zelda, like even Mario Party. Pikmin 4 will do well for itself and probably be the best-selling entry in the franchise, which is awesome because I love Pikmin, and I know my guy Miyamoto does as well. But what else is Nintendo hiding? That's what tomorrow's for. So hopefully I'll see you at the Direct. I think it's going to be a stellar stunner of a show. And maybe I get myself too excited, but I'm going to let it ride. I love getting pumped up for Nintendo Directs. And if they can drop Donkey Kong, a new Zelda trailer, and something Mario, aren't we so lucky to be alive in this era where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is pushing 20 million in 6. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that live stream link if you want to join me tomorrow. It's going to be a party. And until next time, thanks so much, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.